You know, it's a universally acknowledged truth that while Bravo might be our religion,
Right.
the network that actually raised us, like the foundational trauma that truly wired our brains for absolute chaos,
Yeah.
was MTV.
I mean, it is the bedrock of our psychological development.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the architecture of our personalities, the anxiety, the sarcasm,
Exactly.
the deeply held belief that a leopard print top is appropriate for any occasion, I mean, it all traces back to a very specific, heavily gelled era of television.
It so does. And with that being said, good morning, Meatballs.
Oh my God, the volume.
I have to be loud. I'm sorry, but we figured Meatballs was incredibly fitting for today, but babes, you already know you are our people. So welcome back to the Snark Side, Snark Squad.
Welcome back, everyone. And let me just set the scene for you right now, sitting right there listening to us, because the white peach sangria is officially on deck.
Yes, it is.
It is flowing, the ice is clinking, and we have officially started the weekend spiral early.
Early and aggressively.
Yeah.
Like, we are cozy, we are thriving, and we are so incredibly ready to cover this absolute mess.
We really are.
I'm looking right at you, holding your phone or, driving your car, and I just know you are as ready for this as we are. But before we get into the heavy carbs and the heavier drama, we need to give a massive, loud, dramatic shout-out directly to the real one.
Yes, we do.
Specifically, we need to name-drop Maria, Leanna, and Shauna.
The literal holy trinity of our DMs this week. I mean, you three have been doing the Lord's work.
Literally. They have been sliding into the comments, relentlessly demanding that we cover this final season premiere.
Relentlessly.
And babes, meatballs, like, we got you covered. We would never leave you hanging when there is this much unhinged behavior to dissect.
Never. And yes, for everyone asking, you have officially been added to the merch list whenever it actually arrives.
Ugh, don't even get me started on the merch. I am spiraling. We are sitting here feeling like the most chaotic, disorganized small business owners on the planet.
It's a disaster.
I just want you dressed like the messy icons you are. Like, is that too much to ask?
Yeah.
I want you walking through the grocery store in our hoodies, radiating snark.
It is apparently too much to ask the global supply chain, honestly. We are basically running this entire operation out of a metaphorical garage right now.
Really?
Just tracking shipping numbers that I am convinced do not actually exist in the physical realm. But the hoodies will come. Just protect your peace in the meantime.
Yes, protect your peace.
And actually, holding on to that thought about protecting your peace, I need to bring up this TikTok trend that has been completely taking over my algorithm.
Oh my God, the I'm too old to trend. It is giving me absolute life right now.
It's everywhere.
It is my favorite corner of the internet.
Yeah.
Just pure, unfiltered boundary setting.
It's so validating. It's basically a collective societal realization that once you hit your 30s, your tolerance for nonsense just evaporates.
Totally.
Like, the biological mechanism that allows you to put up with discomfort just shuts down.
Oh.
So I need your 5. Give me 5 things you are officially too old for.
Okay. Oh, man. I have been thinking about this all week, and it is a deeply emotional list for me.
I'm ready.
Number 1, I am too old to sleep anywhere that isn't a real bed. Like, I will not take the floor, I will not take the futon, I will not take the pull-out couch with the metal bar in the middle of my back.
No, absolutely not.
Right. If there isn't a mattress with at least a plush mattress pad, I am calling it Uber Black, and I am going home.
Highly valid. I mean, the vinyl couch sleep paralysis demon is a real medical threat.
It is.
What's number 2?
Number 2, I am too old to entertain unemployed men.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, I am.
Yeah.
I don't have the emotional bandwidth to be a life coach for someone who doesn't own a planner or an alarm clock.
Preach.
Like, if your biggest daily challenge is deciding what time to log on to Discord, we cannot build a life together.
The fact that you even had to specify that is tragic, but we support the growth.
Yay, Q. Number 3, I am too old to pretend I like camping. I don't want to be one with nature. Nature has bugs, it has unpredictable weather patterns, and it fundamentally lacks Wi-Fi.
It lacks basic plumbing.
Exactly. The concept of packing up my entire house just to go sleep on the dirt like a peasant makes zero sense to me.
The entire outdoor recreation industry is built on a foundation of lies. It's just paying money to be temporarily homeless.
Yes. Number 4, I am too old to wear shoes that give me blisters just because they match my outfit. I spent my entire 20s bleeding through the heels of stilettos. No more.
We love a flat shoe era.
And number 5, I am too old to go to a dinner that starts at 9 p.m. If we are not seated with the menu in hand, ordering an appetizer by 6:30, I am angry.
Oh, yeah.
My blood sugar has plummeted, and I am leaving.
The 9 p.m. dinner is an act of violence against my circadian rhythm. Like, the kitchen should be closing at 9 p.m. I completely agree.
Right. Okay, it's your turn. Give me your 5 things. I need the dry, shady, boundary-setting sarcasm that you do so well.
Gladly. Number 1, I am too old to stand in a line at a club.
Oh, absolutely.
If I cannot walk directly through the door like I own the building, I am not going inside. I am not standing behind a velvet rope in the freezing cold while a bouncer named Chad looks at an iPad to decide my fate. My fate is on my couch.
Chad always ruins the night.
He thrives on the power trip. Number 2, I am too old to recover from tequila in 1 business day.
Babes, it takes a week.
Exactly. When we were 22, it was a headache. Now, it is a multi-day medical event requiring hydration multipliers, complete darkness, and absolute silence.
It's so true. The bounce back is gone. It's a bounce roll now.
A very slow roll.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I am too old to care about what someone's cousin's roommate said about me. I do not have the RAM, the mental storage space for peripheral drama.
No time for it.
If it doesn't affect my bank account or my direct peace of mind, it does not exist. Number 4, I am too old to participate in group projects, and that firmly includes splitting a convoluted dinner bill with 12 people.
Oh my God, the anxiety of the bill arriving.
Where one person had a side salad and the other ordered a tomahawk steak and 3 martinis. Venmo math is a young person's game.
I will just pay for the whole thing to avoid the awkwardness.
Exactly. And my number 5, I am too old to pretend I'm not a homebody. My living room is my sanctuary, my couch is my throne, and canceling plans is my primary love language.
It really is the best feeling.
The relief that washes over me when a plan falls through is better than any vacation.
See, aging into your 30s is just aggressively protecting your peace and setting the harshest boundaries imaginable. We are fully embracing the homebody lifestyle, which is why by the time you hear this, it's officially the weekend.
Thank God.
Happy weekend to you. Hope you're wrapped in a blanket right now.
Happy weekend. May your boundaries be completely impenetrable and your plans be canceled.
Seriously.
Here.
So what are the weekend highs and lows looking like? Because my planned high is pure, unadulterated self-care.
Okay, tell me.
I'm talking expensive face masks, I am talking a blanket burrito, and I am talking about completely and entirely avoiding all adult responsibilities.
See, my low is just recovering from the mere existence of the work week. Like the sheer exhaustion of perceiving emails, decoding the passive aggression in them, and responding to them.
It's exhausting.
And the absolute soul-crushing dread of having to run actual errands. Going to the grocery store on a Saturday afternoon is my personal version of the Hunger Games.
It is absolute warfare in the produce aisle. People lose their minds over avocados. But to truly honor the weekend and to specifically honor the absolute cultural monument that we are discussing today, I have a confession to make.
Oh, here we go.
To truly honor the Jersey Shore vibe today, I absolutely made us eat a massive dinner of spaghetti and meatballs before we hit record tonight. It was mandatory.
Thanks. Yes, you did. And my kitchen now smells like a garlic factory exploded.
I stood over the stove.
You did, and the aroma is permanently embedded in my sweater.
It was emotional armor.
Yeah.
You have to carb load to survive reality TV trauma. It's a psychological grounding exercise.
Just grounding exercise. Right.
Sitting down to a giant bowl of pasta just immediately initiates you into the right headspace. It connects us to the source material.
Okay, let's inject some reality into this culinary romanticism.
Okay.
Does boiling a box of mass-produced pasta and dumping a jar of marinara sauce on it automatically initiate you into your, quote, mob wife era?
Yes, it does.
Because I am sitting here with heavy garlic breath in this recording room, and I feel less like a mob wife and more like someone who desperately needs a breath mint and a nap.
Stop it. You loved it and you know it. I saw you go back for a second meatball.
I mean, I was hungry.
But the heavy carbs are entirely necessary because we have some intensely heavy drama to unpack. We have to talk about the beginning of the end.
We do.
We're talking about the season 9 premiere. Lordy, lordy, thiz and buvs. Look who's 40. 15 years on television.
15 years. Like, when you actually step back and contextualize that, it's staggering.
It's insane.
We are looking at a cast that premiered when flip phones were a status symbol, when the housing market was completely different, and now we are watching them navigate middle age, mortgages, and complex medical journeys.
I know.
This episode functioned as a chaotic, rapid-fire update on the entire cast, and honestly, the tonal contrast is giving me severe whiplash.
It really is the end of an era. I was getting so emotional watching this. We literally grew up with these people.
We really did.
Like, you were sitting there listening to this, and I know you probably remember exactly where you were when Snooki got punched in the face in season 1.
It was a cultural reset.
It was. And now,
Yeah.
let's just run down where everyone is because the evolution is insane. First of all, Dina. Dina's doing charity work, and she is the literal PTA president.
Dina, the self-proclaimed blast in a glass.
Yes.
The woman who accidentally flashed the entire boardwalk while crying about a meatball day is now running the school bake sale and organizing the carpool lane.
I love it so much.
The sociological character arc is profound. It really proves that the prefrontal cortex does eventually fully develop.
It's beautiful. I love seeing her thrive as a mom. And Pauly D, he is launching a record label. He is thriving with Nikki.
Pauly is just untouchable.
Honestly, Pauly has always just floated above the mess. He's an anomaly. But then, oh my God, then we get to Nicole. Snooki.
This is where my analytical brain simply short circuits. Because the math does not math.
Nicole is a cheer mom to Ariana, which is wild enough. She's doing the big bows, the competitions.
Right.
But then she casually drops that she is leaving her family for an entire month to direct a horror movie called Nanny Cam in Vineland, New Jersey.
Let's dissect this. Nicole Polizzi, who once could not locate the beach while she was actively standing on the boardwalk.
Where's the beach?
Exactly. She is now the auteur director of an independent horror film, and she's shooting it in Vineland, which, no offense to the agricultural hub of southern New Jersey, but it's not exactly the Hollywood of the East Coast.
I couldn't believe it. But she's actually doing the work. She's doing title searches, dealing with copyrights, pre-production, hiring a staff of 40 people.
It's baffling.
She said she's never been more stressed in her life, and I completely believe her. But I also kind of love it. Like, yes, go be a horror director. Why shouldn't she?
I will tell you why she shouldn't.
Oh, here we go.
Directing an indie film is a logistical nightmare of liability, union roles, and incredibly tight margins. But beyond that, it's just deeply unhinged. The irony of leaving your actual living children for a month to go direct a movie specifically about a nanny cam is not lost on me.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
It feels like a fever dream. Meanwhile, we have Vinny.
Oh, Vinny. Vinny is prepping for a family roast, and he is, in his own deeply depressing words, wandering the Clarence aisle of single life.
Which is the most accurate branding he has ever achieved.
It's a little sad.
He has spent over a decade refusing to commit, acting like he's the absolute prize, and now he's realizing the inventory has significantly dwindled, and he's left on the discount rack. It's a classic case of depreciating assets.
It is a little sad, honestly.
Yeah.
He just looks so lost compared to everyone else who has these massive life events going on. And speaking of massive events, we have Mike, the situation.
Oh, boy.
Mike got a hair transplant. He got hair plugs. And I know you're going to shade this, but I think it looks great.
Let's hear it.
He said he's going for the elevation, like the mature, handsome look.
Please tell the listener exactly what he called himself. Quote, it verbatim.
He called himself the Bruce Wayne of the recovery world.
I physically cringed. I pulled a muscle in my jaw.
It's funny.
It is so utterly delusional to compare yourself to Batman, a fictional, brooding, billionaire vigilante who saves a city just because you bought some new hair follicles, slipped them back, and stayed sober.
You are being so harsh. He's thriving. He said he's going on his 10th year of sobriety. His autobiography is selling out. His rehab facility is opening.
Sure, okay.
He literally said, quote, "My chickens are just killing the game right now. Let him have his Bruce Wayne moment."
No. I draw the line at Bruce Wayne, but you know what else crosses the line?
What?
The blatantly staged driving situations on the show. The Reddit sleuths were out in full force for this premiere, and user Fabulous Corgi 2086 pointed out something that shatters the entire illusion of the fourth wall.
Oh my God, yes. The car ride with Snooki, Dina, Angelina, and Sammy.
They noted that the girls' car trip looks blatantly like they are on a tow truck or a lowboy trailer, just pretending to drive. Snooki barely has her hands on the wheel half the time. The background movement is completely unnatural.
It really was.
And the lighting is too perfect. And worse, user Stock Restaurant 4795 pointed out that absolutely nobody is wearing a seatbelt.
Nobody.
Not even newly pregnant Sammy.
I saw that. Stock Restaurant 4795 literally commented, "I know it's a Jersey thing, but come on, don't laugh in the face of God like that. Wear your seatbelt, it will save your life." And they are so incredibly right.
It's infuriating. Let's look at the mechanics of reality TV production.
Okay, Mr. Analytical.
In the early days, they actually drove those cars. They had GoPros suction cupped to the windshields. But now, because of insurance liabilities and the sheer danger of having them argue while operating heavy machinery, production puts the car on a flatbed trailer.
Which makes sense.
It's safer. But the psychological disconnect of sitting on a moving flatbed and still refusing to buckle your seatbelt, you are adults, you are parents, you are carrying a child, you are laughing in the face of vehicular physics.
I push back on that a little bit, though. If the car is securely strapped to a massive tow truck that's driving 25 miles an hour down a closed-off street, they probably feel totally safe.
It's not about feeling safe.
It's like sitting on a ride at Universal Studios. Why would you wear a seatbelt on a ride?
Because if that tow truck hits a pothole or has to brake suddenly, inertia does not care if you are on a television show.
Okay, science class.
You are still going to fly forward into the dashboard. It's a terrible example to set, and it shatters the reality they are trying to portray.
Okay, fair point about the physics. It is a chaotic visual. But the chaos doesn't stop in the car because we need to talk about Jenni's 40th birthday party.
Ah, yes. The luxurious, elegant, highly sophisticated milestone celebration that took place at medieval times.
Okay, Jenni's is turning 40, a massive milestone.
Yeah.
And her fiancé, Zach, who we all lovingly know is 24, even though he's technically older than that now.
He will be 24 in our hearts forever.
Exactly. He planned a surprise party for her.
Let's focus on the psychology of Zach for a second. Zach is bouncing off the walls about the knights, the swords, and the armor.
He was so excited.
He is a literal child who picked a theme restaurant with actual dirt floors for his soon-to-be wife's 40th birthday. He wants a paper crown. He wants to eat a turkey leg with his bare hands and pretend he's a king for a day. It is arrested development masquerading as a romantic gesture.
Wait, I have to defend him here. Jenni specifically said she loves Game of Thrones and Harry Potter, and he drags her to the Renaissance Fair every single year.
That doesn't make it better.
So it is kind of her vibe. He knows what she likes.
There is a vast oceanic difference between enjoying a high fantasy HBO prestige drama with a massive production budget and spending your 40th birthday sitting on sticky bleachers watching underpaid theater majors joust while you eat a dry potato.
You are so cynical. But I digress. So Snooki, Sammy, and Angelina arrive early to help set up the party.
This is where it gets good.
And they make this massive scroll of 40 things we love about Jenni, which is so cute and sentimental.
Cute until you realize they deeply struggle to find 40 things.
They did struggle a little.
Snooki's absolute favorite compliment, the pinnacle of her affection for her best friend of 15 years, was, quote, great boobies.
That is true friendship. But while they're setting up this wholesome, slightly juvenile party, Angelina decides it's the perfect time to drop an absolute nuclear bomb of TMI.
Because of course she does. It's Angelina. Peace is never an option. Silence is a threat to her screen time.
She just casually mentions that she is looking for houses, completely single, but she is getting, quote, multiple wows.
Grotesque.
Which is her deeply gross way of saying she is sleeping with multiple men.
But not just sleeping with them. She makes sure to loudly emphasize that she is getting laid for free.
Like it's a flex.
Which, congratulations on participating in the baseline standard of consensual adult relationships, Angelina.
Yeah.
You do not get a medal for not paying for intimacy.
But then she drops the kicker. She bought sperm.
2 vials of human sperm.
She bought 2 vials of sperm from an anonymous donor, and she is keeping it on ice in a nitro tank inside her refrigerator for potential IVF.
Let's map the geography of Angelina's kitchen for a moment, because this is a public health crisis.
It is so gross.
You go to the fridge to get a Diet Coke or maybe some deli turkey, and right next to the condiments, sharing the same refrigerated ecosystem as the mayonnaise, is a highly pressurized, freezing cold tank of human genetic material.
Just sitting there.
It's a biohazard.
I was spiraling over the logic of this. Even Snooki was completely confused. Snooki's like, wait, you're getting laid for free, but then you're going to go pay thousands of dollars for sperm. You have men's sperm 3 times a day. Why did you buy it?
A rare moment of logic from Nicole. And Angelina's defense is that she wants to have siblings down the line, so she needs to secure the same genetic donor.
Which makes sense on paper.
Which, on a purely theoretical level, makes sense. But she hasn't even figured out the fundamental process of how to use it. She literally called IVF inside vagina fertilization.
Inside vagina fertilization. I had to pause the TV. I'd walk around my living room. I was yelling at the screen.
It is scientifically terrifying that this woman has access to a nitro tank. Let's break down the actual mechanics of IVF, in vitro fertilization.
Please educate her.
In vitro literally translates from Latin to in glass. It refers to the medical procedure where an egg is retrieved from the ovaries and fertilized by sperm in a laboratory dish, creating an embryo, which is then carefully transferred into the uterus.
It is incredibly scientific.
It is a highly complex, highly sensitive medical procedure. It is not inside vagina fertilization. The complete lack of understanding of basic reproductive science, while simultaneously investing thousands of dollars in it, is peak Angelina chaos.
And the juxtaposition of this conversation, they are talking about inside vagina fertilization while literally setting up fake plastic swords for a 40th birthday.
The whiplash.
And then the party actually starts, and they're eating rotisserie chicken with their bare hands.
Angelina was furious about the lack of silverware. For once in my life, I am firmly on her side.
But when Jenni walked in, she actually cried happy tears. She loved it. She was so happy, and Zach looked so proud of himself.
It was a sweet moment for her. Let her eat the dry chicken.
Right.
But the sweetness was very quickly eclipsed by the main event of the evening. Because reality TV producers cannot let a nice moment just be a nice moment.
Oh my God, no, they cannot. Get the tissues ready, because Sammy's sweetheart Giancola and her husband Justin are officially expecting a baby.
It is a massive deal, especially given the context of what she has endured to get to this point.
Yes, she was so incredibly vulnerable about this on camera. She spent 2 entire years struggling with IVF.
2 years.
2 years of her life dictated by this process. She's dealing with severe endometriosis, which makes getting pregnant incredibly difficult and painful. She suffered 2 miscarriages before this successful 3rd embryo transfer.
That is heavy.
The footage they showed of her getting the daily injections, going to the clinic, crying in the car over the failed transfers, it was so raw. It broke my heart.
It was deeply sobering. To watch someone document that level of medical and emotional trauma, it grounds the show in a very harsh reality.
It really does.
It's a stark reminder that it's not just drunk people falling down in cabs anymore. It's real, painful, high-stakes adult life. Endometriosis is a condition where tissue similar to the lining of the uterus grows outside the uterus, causing immense pelvic pain and severe complications with fertility.
It's awful.
For her to battle that, endure 2 traumatic pregnancy losses, and subject her body to the hormonal roller coaster of IVF injections, her resilience is staggering.
And she didn't want to tell anyone.
Huh?
She specifically said she wanted to wait until she was firmly out of the first trimester because she was so terrified of jinxing it.
Completely valid.
She was scared of having another miscarriage
Yeah.
and then having to go through the trauma of untelling everyone, which is so valid. Anyone who has been through that knows exactly why you wait.
The anxiety of early pregnancy after loss is paralyzing, and she explicitly stated she did not want to steal the spotlight on Jenni's 40th birthday.
She was being a good friend.
She was resolute in her decision to stay quiet, protect her peace, and protect her baby.
Until the medieval times incident.
Let's talk about the absolute blatant producer manipulation of this incident. This is where the curtain fully pulls back on how reality TV is made.
Okay, so the cast gets called down to the literal dirt floor of the arena to take a picture with the winning horse.
Right.
And the knight, who is in full costume, looks at this group of reality stars and asks, totally unprompted, does anyone have injuries? And most importantly, is anybody pregnant?
Let's pause and look at the sheer insulting mechanics of this. You are at a photo op with a stationary animal.
Just a horse.
They aren't riding the horse, they are standing adjacent to it on the dirt. Since when does standing 3 feet away from a horse require a strict medical clearance for pregnancy?
Never. It made no sense.
Exactly.
Sammy just freezes. There was this long, agonizing pause. You can see the panic in her eyes. She's looking at Justin. Her mind is racing. And ultimately, she just breaks and announces her pregnancy right there on the dirt in front of everyone.
And this is where the Reddit sleuths and I are in complete agreement. User Initial Muscle 1692 posted, feel like the producers pushed Sammy to announce before she was ready, which is kind of fucked up.
Yep.
And Oak Attorney 7251 replied, Fry, it was all set up after that. I knew they weren't going to ride the horses.
It's so dark when you think about it.
It is incredibly dark. Let's break down how this works. The producers knew she was pregnant. They track their medical appointments. They do pre-interviews. They know everything.
Right.
They also knew she was holding it back for safety and emotional protection. So what do? They look at the storyboard for the episode, realize they need a climax for the medieval times scene, and they literally feed a line to an underpaid actor in a tunic to force her hand on camera.
Wow.
They wingdinized her medical vulnerability to create a viral plot point.
When you say it like that, it's actually really gross. I know they have to make a TV show, but Forcing a woman who has had 2 miscarriages to announce before she's ready feels like crossing a major line.
It's a huge line.
But I will say, the cast's reaction was so pure. Jenni was the first one to run up and hug her. User Full Wolverine 3904 said, Jenni being the first to hug Sammy after she announced her pregnancy was sweet.
That was nice.
And it was. Jenni literally said it's the best birthday present she could have gotten. There was no jealousy about stealing the spotlight.
The cast handled it beautifully. They rallied around her with genuine joy because they know the real-world stakes of what she's been through. But the editors, the editors who assembled the footage in post-production, they are messy.
Oh my God, the camera pan.
User Yanks09112 caught this perfectly. The close-up on Ron's face when Sam announced she was pregnant. Dude is still not over her after all this time. Absolutely wild.
They literally zoomed in on Ronnie's face, the exact microsecond. Sammy announced she's having a baby with another man.
Yep.
He looked entirely crushed. It was this split second of pure, unresolved history flashing across his face. Babes, the man is still not over her. You could see 15 years of regret in his eyes.
He is not. But let's also acknowledge the power of editing. The editors scrubbed through hours of footage to find that exact micro-expression of pain on Ronnie's face.
Oh, absolutely.
They knew exactly what they were doing. They want the audience to remember the profound toxicity of Season 3 in Miami, even while we're actively celebrating her healthy, stable future with a new man. They cannot let the past die.
It's so crazy to think about where they started, destroying each other's belongings in Miami and where they are now. Which perfectly transitions us to the next chaotic event, because why have one awkward public event when you can have 2?
Exactly. The social calendar is relentless.
So now we were at a first birthday party for Mike and Lauren's daughter, Luna. And babes, it's not at a Chuck E. Cheese.
No, it is not.
It's not in a backyard with a bouncy castle. It's at an Italian steakhouse in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Which prompted a very valid question on Reddit. As user Brett Michaels Wig asked, was Luna's party an excuse to film them getting together, or do they really book a steakhouse for a 1-year-old B-Day party? And if so, is this an Italian-American thing, a Jersey thing, or the situation thing?
That is hilarious.
To which another user correctly answered, all 3.
It is a massive flex.
Uh-huh.
But the drama starts early because Sammy, who is finally relaxing into her pregnancy news now that's out in the open, accidentally slips up at the table in front of Mike and Lauren and reveals she's having a boy.
She says he was moving and grooving.
And she instantly panics because Angelina is sitting right at the table and Sammy is terrified. Angelina is going to spread the secret before she can do a proper gender reveal.
To be fair, trusting Angelina with sensitive information is like trusting a toddler with a loaded water gun in a museum. Someone is absolutely getting sprayed. She has zero impulse control.
But Angelina is completely distracted because she has her own drama brewing. She realizes she had a 2-hour period on Friday and suddenly convinces herself and everyone around her that she might be pregnant.
A 2-hour period. Let's consult basic biology again.
Oh, please do.
Spotting is incredibly common and can be caused by stress, dietary changes, or just normal hormonal fluctuations. It is not exactly the hallmark of a major medical event.
No.
But for Angelina, a 2-hour spot is a full-blown DEFCON 1 reproductive crisis.
So in the middle of a Sunday afternoon at a 1-year-old's birthday party at a nice upscale Italian steakhouse, Angelina DoorDashes a pregnancy test.
The absolute lack of decorum is staggering. The sheer logistical audacity.
DoorDash ding ding. I lost my mind.
I mean, seriously.
She grabs the delivery bag from the hostess stand, runs to the steakhouse bathroom, takes the test, and then calls Sammy into the stall with her.
Into the stall.
And the episode ends on a cliffhanger with Angelina falling to the floor, covering her mouth in shock. Babes, that is the most chaotic meatball energy I have ever witnessed in my entire life.
Okay, let's bring some cold, hard, analytical reality to this bathroom floor spiral, because this is where the production timeline completely unravels the cliffhanger.
Go off, detective. Tell me why you're ruining the magic.
If we look at the Reddit sleuthing, specifically user Faith and Yosh, they noticed something in the background. The decorative sign at Luna's party clearly said 3-9-2025. March 9th, 2025.
Which means it was filmed over a year ago.
Exactly. As user Mildenjoyer Offlife pointed out, Jenni turned 40 well over a year ago in real time. These episodes are massively awkwardly behind real-world events.
Wow.
So it has been over a year since Angelina took that pregnancy test on the floor of that Red Bank steakhouse. I ask you, has Angelina announced the birth of a child?
No, she hasn't.
Exactly. So analytically deducing this, there are only two logical possibilities. One, it was a false positive, which does happen, or an early chemical pregnancy.
Right.
Or two, and highly more likely given her deeply documented track record of manufacturing drama for relevance, it's a classic Angelina prank manufactured purely for screen time and to create a guaranteed cliffhanger for episode 2. She thrives on being the center of attention.
But wait, I have to push back on that. You really think she faked the reaction?
I do.
Faking a pregnancy test on camera is a massive liability.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the producers vet that? I don't think she would sink that low, especially right in front of Sammy, who just went through 2 miscarriages.
You'd be surprised.
That would be completely sociopathic. I think she actually panicked in the moment.
You are giving her far too much credit for emotional intelligence.
Mhm.
Angelina saw Sammy getting the spotlight, she felt the narrative slipping away from her, and she created a spectacle. The producers don't vet the urine on the stick, they just film the reaction. She knew exactly what she was doing. She needed a storyline that competed with Sammy's actual genuine pregnancy.
Oh my God, that is
Yeah.
so incredibly shady. But honestly, it kind of tracks. It totally tracks with everything she's ever done. But while all this on-screen mess is happening, we have to talk about the real-world darkness bleeding into the show.
You do. Because as much as we joke about the orchestrated chaos and the DoorDash deliveries, there are real fragile people under the editing bay. And Ronnie's situation right now is incredibly serious.
It is. Ronnie is back full-time this season, which is a big deal.
It is.
But during the press tour, right before this episode aired, a video went viral on social media. It was from a Sirius XM interview. Dina is talking, answering a question, but the camera catches Ronnie in the background.
Yeah.
He's nodding off, his eyes are rolling back, he looks completely disassociated. It was really hard to watch, and people were immediately assuming he had relapsed.
It was alarming footage. The internet immediately jumped to the worst conclusions, and given his history, the concern was understandable.
But Ronnie actually released an Instagram statement to address it head-on, which took a lot of bravery. He thanked the fans for their support, and he was radically honest. He explained that he is actively battling bipolar disorder, clinical depression, and severe anxiety.
He was very transparent. He said he's managing these deeply complex conditions with heavy psychiatric medication and weekly therapy, but he made a point to say that it's not a finite or permanent cure. It is a daily, relentless management process.
And he explained that the nodding off wasn't a relapse into addiction. It was an adverse side effect of his medication, mixed with the absolute bone-deep exhaustion of trying to show up publicly for the press tour.
Exactly.
He said some recent emotional events in his personal life had worn him down, and he tried to push through it for his castmates, but his body just hit a wall and shut down.
Which is deeply medically understandable. Let's look at the pharmacology of this. Medications used to treat bipolar disorder and severe anxiety are often heavy central nervous system depressants. They are designed to stabilize extreme mood fluctuations, but a major side effect is profound sedation.
That makes so much sense.
When you combine that heavy psychiatric medication with the relentless, high-energy, overstimulating demands of a media press tour, the bright lights, the rapid-fire questions, the travel, it is a brutal, unsustainable combination. And Mike, the situation actually responded to Ronnie's post, too, stating his heart is heavy for Ronnie.
It just broke my heart. I feel so much empathy for him. Imagine how exhausting it must be to have to maintain this loud, energetic, fist-pumping, Jersey Shore reality TV persona while internally managing severe, debilitating mental health issues.
It has to be draining.
It's like wearing a 100-pound costume every single day while pretending to be weightless.
It's the central tragedy of the reality TV machine. The machine demands consistent, high-octane entertainment. It demands caricatures. But the humans providing that entertainment are aging, they are evolving, and they are dealing with real-world clinical pathology.
Yeah.
The show requires him to be Ronnie, the reality star, but his brain and his body require him to rest and heal. It's an unsustainable friction that eventually breaks people.
It really is. It makes you look at the whole show differently. And on the flip side of real-world drama, we had the absolute toxic mess that is the Roger and 24 social media situation.
Oh, this is where my empathy evaporates entirely and my snark aggressively returns.
Okay, so on Reddit, fans were blowing up about Jenni's ex-husband, Roger Matthews. Apparently, he was lurking in the comments on social media under a post about Jenni and Zach talking about cheap love games.
Unbelievable.
And the fans absolutely rightfully dragged him for it. User Pacific Sunset, wrote an absolute thesis statement on this man.
Let's hear it.
They said, "I know that's not Roger. I see, talking about cheap love games, your old ass had Jenni in her prime, knocked her up twice, and failed your marriage by being an abusive chauvinist."
Wow.
They went and done. They did not hold back.
They shouldn't. They reminded everyone of the documented history. They pointed out that Roger literally threw Jenni to the ground on camera during their spin-off show.
Exactly.
Your children can see that, they said. He has an unparalleled audacity to comment on her current relationship.
And it's so true. Rogers has always been her biggest hater, disguised as a partner. User key technician 4442 said exactly that. But then the conversation took a turn because the fans also started calling out Zach, 24, for his past behavior.
Yes. User Party Marsupial 8979 brought up a very valid point. While Roger is awful, Zach isn't exactly a saint. They reminded everyone of the infamous club scene from a few seasons ago where Zach was completely, undeniably inappropriate with Angelina.
Oh my God.
He was grabbing her and whispering to her while Jenni was practically passed out right next to them.
Oh my God, the club fiasco? I had blocked that out of my memory. That was so incredibly hard to watch. It was such a betrayal.
It was gross. So now you have this toxic ecosystem where the abusive ex-husband is lurking in the comments trying to stay relevant by throwing shade, and the current fiancé has a documented history of creepy behavior on camera with one of her castmates.
It's just poor Jenni. Like, can this woman just catch a break? But you know what? I have to agree with the fans roasting Roger.
100%.
For him to be a bitter, jealous ex lurking on social media while Jenni's just trying to live her life and celebrate her 40th birthday in peace, absolutely eviscerate him.
Eviscerate him entirely. He is the textbook definition of a man whose fragile ego cannot handle his own irrelevance. As user Stock Restaurant 4795 so eloquently put it, he sounds like an old, bitter, miserable, jealous man. No note.
0 notes. The internet remains undefeated. Okay, babes, we need a palate cleanser after that heavy dose of toxic masculinity. Let's get into our segments, because I'm ready to judge these people.
Let's do it. Segment 1, Shore House Survival Rankings.
The premise is simple. Based on everything we just recapped, the current state of their lives in their 30s and 40s, and our own highly judgmental standards, who would actually survive a real shared vacation house today, and who gets kicked out first.
And just to clarify, not a manufactured house with flatbed tow trucks, a real house.
Yes, a real house.
Yeah.
Okay, I have my answer locked and loaded. The absolute ultimate survivor is Pauly D. He survives effortlessly.
Defend your thesis. Why Pauly?
Because he just floats above the drama. He is a master of compartmentalization.
That's true.
He plays his music, he does his hair, he says his little catchphrases to keep the producers happy, and he completely avoids the emotional crossfire. He is Switzerland with a blowout.
I like that.
He doesn't get involved in the screaming matches, he doesn't leave bodily fluids in the fridge, and he cleans up after himself. He is the ideal roommate for group living.
That is a very strong argument. He has cultivated an impenetrable aura of positive detachment. He observes the chaos, but refuses to absorb it.
Exactly. Now, who is your pick for getting kicked out first? Who is the ultimate liability?
This is not even a competition. It is Angelina. She is evicted on day 1.
By sundown.
Before the sun even sets. Think about the pure logistics of living with her. We just established she stores random vials of human sperm in the communal refrigerator.
Yeah.
You go into the kitchen at midnight to get some cold cuts for a sandwich, and you are confronted with a nitro tank of genetics next to the provolone.
It's insane.
It is a biological hazard. It is a clear violation of the roommate agreement. She is gone.
She's a walking health code violation. I agree. She's out. Which brings us perfectly to segment 2, the Messiest Meatball Award.
We are awarding the absolute most chaotic behavior of the episode. We each have our top 3 moments. You go first.
Okay, my top 3. Coming in at number 3. Snooki casually abandoning her children to go to Vineland, New Jersey to direct a horror movie about a nanny cam. It is just so wildly out of left field, so deeply incongruous with her brand. I am still dizzy from the announcement.
It is high camp. It belongs in a museum.
Number 2. Angelina looking dead into the camera with complete confidence and calling IVF inside vagina fertilization. It is a permanent stain on the medical community and the educational system of Staten Island.
It physically pained me to hear it. My ears rejected the sound waves.
And my number 1 Messiest meatball moment, door-dashing a pregnancy test to a baby's first birthday party at a high-end Italian steakhouse. The sheer audacity to involve an innocent delivery driver in your reproductive panic while people are trying to eat filet mignon is legendary.
It is unmatched, unadulterated chaos. Okay, here are my top 3.
Let's hear them.
Number 3, the driving scene. Driving a car that is clearly secured to a flatbed tow truck, pretending to steer the wheel, and doing it all while aggressively refusing to wear seatbelts. It's insulting to our intelligence as viewers and dangerous to their own craniums.
So true. The fake steering was sending me.
Number 2, the producers forcing a man in a night costume to ask a medical clearance question about pregnancy on a dirt floor just to out Sammy's highly sensitive, highly traumatic IVF journey for a plot point. It is the dark arts of reality TV producing, and it is ethically bankrupt.
That was truly sinister. It was evil genius, but mostly evil.
Yeah.
And you're number 1.
My number 1 Messiest meatball goes to Zach.
Jocker.
For genuinely believing that medieval times, a place where you eat without utensils while watching choreographed horse fights under fluorescent lighting, is a luxurious romantic venue for your fiancé's 40th birthday. The man is Peter Pan in a muscle shirt.
You are so incredibly mean to him, but you're right. The paper crown was a choice.
I am just observing reality with clear eyes. Which leads us to segment 3, Jim. Trauma.
This is where we break down the emotional spirals and the personal drama, because the contrast in this episode was insane. It was giving me emotional whiplash.
It was a masterclass in tonal dissonance.
On one hand, you have Sammy. Her storyline was so deeply painful and grounded. 2 entire years of highly medicalized trauma.
2 years.
Enduring IVF injections, dealing with the chronic pain of endometriosis, surviving 2 miscarriages, and the sheer terror of this 3rd embryo transfer. It is a very heavy, very real woman's issue that millions of people struggle with in silence.
And then, literally in the same breath, in the exact same hour of television, the show cuts to Angelina.
Yes.
Who has an incredibly chaotic, flippant approach to the exact same topic. She's buying sperm online, storing it next to the milk, sleeping around for free, and treating a potential pregnancy like a funny little mishap to test at a steakhouse.
It almost felt disrespectful to Sammy's journey. Sammy is fighting tooth and nail for a family, shedding real tears, and Angelina is treating reproductive science like an impulse purchase on Amazon Prime.
It really is wild.
But honestly, watching all this just made me so emotional about the sheer resilience of these cast members. They have been through so much publicly.
And that's the core issue here, the dark underbelly we have to acknowledge. Reality TV inherently forces real-life pain to be packaged and consumed as entertainment. We are consuming Ronnie's struggle with heavy bipolar medication as a dramatic storyline. We are consuming Sammy's miscarriages as a cliffhanger reveal at a theme restaurant. The underlying currents of the show have become incredibly dark. It's not just a fun summer vacation at the shore anymore. It's a televised coping mechanism for aging adults.
It really is. It makes you look at them so differently. You can see the weight of the years on them. Which brings us to our final segment, segment 4. Would we survive Jersey Shore?
Based on our I'm too old to list from the beginning of our chat, I think we already know the answer to this.
I would crumble. I would absolutely perish. First of all, the snacks situation. I am highly territorial about my pantry items.
Very territorial.
If I buy a specific box of Cheez-Its, the white cheddar kind, and I come into the kitchen at 2 a.m. and Mike, the situation is eating them, I am crying. Full emotional breakdown. I am calling my mom.
You would be inconsolable. You would press charges.
And the bathroom. I refuse to share a single bathroom with that many people. The hair gel, the spray tan residue on the towels, the bodily fluids. No, I would lock myself in my room, barricade the door, and refuse to film. How long do you think you would last?
I have done the math on this. I would last exactly 14 minutes.
14 minutes. That's not even enough time to unpack your suitcase.
I wouldn't even bring a suitcase. The moment I walk through the door and see the sheer volume of neon clothing and smell the competing colognes, the mixture of Axe body spray and desperation, I am done.
Oh my God.
The thought of a communal hangover on a vinyl couch while someone is blasting aggressive house music at 10 a.m. is my actual literal sleep paralysis demon. I would call an Uber Black, I would put my noise-canceling headphones on, and I would be back in my own bed by noon.
You wouldn't even stay for Sunday dinner. Not even for the spaghetti.
I would order Italian from a reputable, health code-compliant establishment in my own neighborhood. Thank you very much.
You are so valid for that. Oh my God, babes. This premiere was an absolute fever dream, but we made it through. We processed it together.
Barely. The garlic breath from the meatballs is really setting in now. It's becoming a hostile work environment.
We want to so warmly thank you, the Snark Squad, for hanging out with us, drinking sangria with us, and letting us spiral over this absolute mess of a show. You are the best.
Yes. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and send this to your messiest friend. They absolutely need to hear it.
They really do. And babes, we want to hear from you in the comments. We have questions for you. Number one, what are you officially too old for? Give us your boundaries. We want to read them.
We really do.
Number two, what is your dream Jersey Shore meal? Are we talking Sunday spaghetti with heavy garlic? Or are we eating rotisserie chicken with no silverware like Zach at medieval times?
Please use utensils. We live in a civilized society.
Number three, who is your favorite cast member and why? Defend them in the comments. We will be reading them.
And before we go, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to mull over as you go about your weekend.
Give it to us.
We've talked about the 15 years. We've talked about the aging, the trauma, the reality of real life leading into the show. So ask yourself this. When the cameras finally go down for good, when MTV stops cutting the checks, do these trauma bonds actually survive? Or do they finally ghost each other, block each other's numbers, and retreat to their PTA meetings and their quiet lives in the suburbs?
Oh, that is a heavy thought. Will they actually stay family? I guess we'll have to watch and find out. Stay cozy, babes.
Stay chaotic.
And we will see you on the Snark side.